Okay, we are live yet again. I've said this many times over, but I don't mind saying this again. Sales as a game is not played in the boardroom, it's played 6 inches between your ears. That's where it is. So your mind is the sales pitch, right? That's where this game is played. So it's extremely crucial that if you want to sell more, you have to influence your customers at a much deeper level. This is not a game where you just say, hey, this is the product that I have and I can help you, so why don't you buy it? It doesn't work that way. We don't take decisions so quickly. Humans are designed to, really consider decision making as a huge process. It doesn't happen just like that. Tell us the science behind this.
See, the science is very clear. I don't elaborate much on more, but you know about the 6 principles of the psychological principles. How you can influence the customer at a place in the brain which is called the prefrontal lobe. Okay, this is the place exactly where there are emotions,
Right.
where the buying decisions are made actually. And unless and until you don't influence that part of the brain, the customer is going to use his animal brain, which causes fear. The number one reason I feel, even if the customer finds value in a product or service, he doesn't buy from you because he is afraid to trust you.
Right.
That is stopping him. So how can we remove that trust? Is by being authentic,
Right.
being genuine, and talking upfront, straightforward, and asking him if you've got any trust issues. Speak your mind.
Right.
This is where you're going to influence your customer. And remember, the customer himself goes through the turbulence of 5 stages in the buying process. He is on a huge emotional roller coaster ride. Like, first is nervous and jittery. He doesn't know what's happening, what's the product, and is the customer trying to pile that product, push that product on him or service. Then the second stage is, should I trust this guy? Is it my money's worth? Or then the third point, which always plays on the customer mind, especially in big deals and more, that if I make this decision and if the decision goes wrong,
Right.
what are my friends or family members or colleagues in the office going to laugh at me? So these are all the concerns and worries which has to be mitigated,
Right.
if not completely eradicated. And only then the customer comes into the flow. How do the customer comes into your flow? Listen as much as is possible. Be straightforward. Smile at him. Ask him the question. Though it may be tough, but there's a way to ask it, right?
Right.
There's a way you project yourself. That's where he starts trusting you, and that's where the decisions are made. Remember the prefrontal lobe.
Absolutely. That's the seat for emotion. So
Yeah.
you've got to understand the emotions of the prospect, empathize with him or her, build that rapport, that likability. This is, again, we're not even talking about the product. We're not talking about what the product can do for the prospect. This is all about you and the prospect, your relationship, that likability, trust factor that you build. And it's extremely crucial that you do this. If you look at the top salespeople across any industry, are those people who've mastered this game.
Yeah.
You take them out from what they're selling right now and give them something else to sell, they will excel there as well.
Very right.
Right? They will excel there as well. It is not about the product, guys. It is, of course. I mean, you need to know the product, the market, the trends, but that's something which is easy. Easy in the sense you can always pick it up, get into a product training, you're done. But this is a skill that you have to master, the ability to understand customers, understand what's going on in their mind, right, and relate to that. Otherwise, there's a big gap. It's a huge chasm between what you think and what the reality is. Remember, it's always about perception. So, moral of the story, if you're listening to us, ladies and gentlemen, the moral is you've got to build those skills where you are able to decode customer psyche, build a rapport at a very emotional level, where you really understand what they want, what are their fears which is stopping them from what they really want, right?
That is what is the 21st century selling skills.
Absolutely.
Intuitive selling, right?
Yeah.
You're using your emotional intelligence. Just a caveat, Anmol, I mean, the audience has to be clear. In a B2C situation where the product value is, reasonable, or even if it is high product, say suppose a car, there the customer is going to take his buying decision based on emotions.
Yeah.
90% is emotions and 10% is logic. But when you are into a B2B format and more, when you are selling it to organizations,
right,
then it is the other way around, because for organizations, price is a major concern.
Right.
They will push you hard on negotiating and getting your price down. There, people are going to take decisions on 90% of the time on logic,
Right.
and only 10% is emotions involved.
Right.
So don't get confused into these two, selling formats.
Right.
You should know where to apply what.
Absolutely. I think that's a great rider that JD
Right.
just added. So that's about it, folks. So make sure that you work on these skills. And
what is your favorite line, Anmol? You said people buy based on what, Anmol? You say no, frequently you say that.
right.
People buy on emotion.
Absolutely.
And then after they made the purchase, they justify it by their
using
logic.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So people buy for emotional reasons,
Yeah.
not for logical reasons. So
Absolutely.
build that connect, treat your customers as friends, your ability to get humor into the pitch, make it sound like this is just a conversation. If you like the product, then you'll eventually buy it. But for now, let's have a good conversation. If you strike that rapport, trust me, you're appealing to the prefrontal lobe that JD was actually talking about. By the way, this is what happens, during arranged marriages as well. Don't ask me how I know it, but yeah, that's what you are appealing at a very emotional level, right?
True.
And that seals the deal.
Yeah.
It's not about, you've done an MBA, which is obviously important, at least in the Indian society, but it's more about the emotional game. And that's how everything works. That's
And
how
what are we as
humans,
human beings? We are a
listen.
ball of emotions, right?
Absolutely.
Nothing else.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys. So I hope you love this content. Do write to us. Subscribe to this channel. We are going to come up with some amazing content every single day. That's our mission. And to add as much value as we can. This is Anmol Garg.
This is JD with you. Before I sign off, I also request you very humbly to go in the comment section and write on what topics you want us to speak.
Yeah.
Especially in sales, what are the areas you would like us to cover,
Right.
so that we are all on the same page.
Right.
All right.
Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you for now. Have
Signing
a great
off.
weekend and see you soon.
Yeah.